Okay, welcome to our Amud Yomi Shiur, everybody that's here. And this year's Leil Nishma, Salvi Moyer Menachem Ben Akiva. Today, especially, is the yortzeit of the father of our good friend. And we are learning Leil Nishma of Shmuel ben Pinchas. Shmuel ben Pinchas should have Ilu Neshama from this Shiur and many other things. The schus of his son may be Zoichet to long life and health. And let's now go into the Mishnah, Ayin Tes Amud Beis. More about chazokis. There was a man and a woman that lived in the community. They were part of the community, and they went to Chutz La'aretz. They went away. They went overseas for a while. Let's say a few years. Ubahu ve'ishtoi ubonov. Now they came back from Chutz La'aretz. They came back here. Him, his wife, and his sons. They came back. The Omar, and he said, Isha shiotzos imel medina sayam hare hizu. The same woman who left with me to Chutz La'aretz is the same woman who came back. It's the same woman who came back with me now. Yeah, let's say you can't recognize her. Let's say there could be different reasons. Yeah, we don't remember, we don't know. And the person says the same woman who left to Chutz La'aretz with me, that's the same woman that I'm married to now. Okay, soon we'll see what's in the Kamina. The Elu Baneha, and those children are her sons. And it doesn't have to bring a proof regarding the yuchsin, regarding the yichus of neither the wife nor the children. What does that mean? So we all know that when a family lives together, when a couple gets married, at the beginning of a family is being created, the Beis Din, the Masadur Kiddushin, the community has to know who is the woman, who is the man. Is a mamzerus? If he's a kohen, it's shir. We have to know it's kosher marriage. So in this case, all these checkups were done already. We already checked on that man and that woman when before they left the Chutz La'aretz, and now we see them coming with children. Okay, and the children were already huveishtoi. Now he came he left even without children and came back with children. That's also meduik in the Mishnah, right? The Mishnah says huve ishtoi, and then they came back with children. Who are these children? Maybe these children were adopted in Brazil. Maybe you found them in a favela in the street and you collected them off the street. So we say no. We have enough muchzakus to say just like the woman herself was checked to be a kosher woman, right, before they left. There was already the checkup, the investigation was done by Beis Din. They got married, das uchadin. Now the children that come with her, we can believe him when he says these are her children. And just like she was already checked a while ago to be kosher, the children that come with her, you don't have to bring a proof, and we believe him that they're her children. Soon we're going to see why he's believed. It's not so simple. Yeah, he doesn't have to bring any more proof. That is case number one. Okay, now case number two. Lo aleinu mesa the elu banea. The woman died. Yeah, the woman, he left for Chutz La'aretz a while ago, and then the woman died. Okay, the elu baneha. Now he comes back from Chutz La'aretz without the wife, but with children. He's a widower. Now he's coming instead of a wife, which he buried in Chutz La'aretz. He comes with children. Okay. So now he's claiming that these children are from his kosher woman. Okay. Oh, so he has to bring a proof. He has to bring documentation from the other Beis Din. He has to bring edim, whatever, that these are the children of the kosher wife. The enemy viraya isha, but he doesn't have to bring a raya on the isha. He doesn't have to bring a proof regarding the woman that she's kosher because she was checked before she left the Chutz La'aretz and died. She was checked already. If she was checked, Ivaldig, then what happens then? She is assumed to be kosher. How do you know there are children? There's always two questions. You have to understand, you always have to tick two boxes. A, is the woman kosher? Is your wife kosher? B, are these her children? Right? So if she's buried in Chutz La'aretz, but we know her. She's registered in our community as a kosher woman. We feel so bad for you. Your wife died. What about the children? Bring me a proof that these are her children, not children from a goite, the children you picked up in the street. That you have to bring a proof from, because the woman, how do you know that these are her sons? So now, of course, we have to understand when the woman is physically with them, we believe him that these are his children. But when the woman is not there, we don't believe him. These are our children, and the Gemara will explain why. Third case in the Mishnah, Isha Nososi b'Medinas Hayam. Now the man says he went to Hul or to Hustz La'aretz, to America, to Europe. He went and he was a single guy. He found a shidduch in Chutz La'aretz, very nice, more like his style. And he married the woman of Medinas Hayam. And here she is. Arei hizu ve'elu banat. Look, I left as a single guy. I came back to town, to Eretz Yisrael, let's say, wherever I lived, with a new wife and children. This is my new wife, Sheindale, and these are her children. So now, maybe Isha, the answer bonim. Oh, he has to bring a proof. His wife is kosher. Where did he come from? Southeast Timbuktu. Psh, that's a nice place. We want to know if there's a kosher basin in Southeast Timbuktu, that the woman is kosher. Is she Jewish? Is she a Giyoris? Is she a Mamzeres? Is she Halal? You're a Kohen? Bring a proof. We don't know who the lady is. Yeah, that's even today in the Rabbanut. When people come from Chutzah, they get very frustrated that they check that they're Jewish or in marriage. That's halacha. A guy comes from, not trying to step on anyone's toes, yeah, but I'm saying, a guy comes, you come from a respectable community, bring a letter from Kadasser, from Bezin, from Yeshua, Givaldig. I'm not in charge of that, yeah? But when you come from Hotzenplotz, South Dakota, bring him a proof that you're Jewish or marriageable. So that's what he has to do regarding the wife. But again, once we believe him, she's a kosher wife. What do you mean we believe? He brought a proof. Once he brought us a proof, a letter from the rabbi or Edim, whatever that is, the proof that she's a kosher woman, then the children that are with her, and just as we said before, he doesn't have to bring a raya. These are the children. In other words, when we have this package deal of, imagine yourself like a picture, a cartoon, the woman and the children come together. Then if the woman is found out to be kosher or muchzak to be kosher, the children are hers, okay? However, what happens in the fourth case? Meisa ve'elu boneha, what happens if the woman died? What do you mean the woman died? He left to Chutz La'aretz saying what? He was single. We all know he was. That's not a tall tale. He left to Chutz La'aretz a single guy. Came back from Chutz La'aretz with a bunch of children. Where's the mommy? Where is the woman in the picture? She died. Who says? He says that she died. But these are her children. And believe me, she was a kosher Jewess. She was a kosher Jewish woman, and she wasn't a Mamzeres or Nesina or Tzedukis or Mamzeres or Kutit or Meshucheres. She was kosher. And these are the Zisa Kinderlach. You sound very nice and moving, but we don't believe you. If you married a woman in Chutz La'aretz and you're telling me that she died in Chutz La'aretz, and these are the children, it's a two-step process. You have to tick both boxes, and we don't believe you. You have to bring a proof that the buried wife was Jewish. Bring me a letter from Beis Din, bring me Eidim, bring me Chazokas, bring me proofs, yeah? And what about the children? As we said before, as the rule goes, since the mother is not here, you have to bring a proof regarding the children. In other words, two steps. First, we believe you once you brought a proof from Beis Din, from the Rabbanim, from Eidim, from whatever, that this woman was a kosher Jewish woman, she was kosher. Now you have to bring a second proof that these are the children. Thank you very much. You were married to a Jewish woman. You managed to prove us right. But how do you know these are the children? Maybe there's from another Goyish wife you had. Maybe you adopted them in Ecuador. I don't know. Mimela, you have to bring two steps. I find it hard not to compare it lahavdil to the process of lahavdil of getting a passport. That's exactly what you have to do. If my wife wants to get a British passport, she has to show the British authorities two things: that her mother is British, which she is. She also has to prove that she is her mother's daughter. She has to bring two things. Yes, that if my wife wants to get British citizenship, yeah, I'm saying this online, very secret details I'm revealing here. She has to prove that her mother is British, which she is, and she also has to prove, my wife has to prove that she is her mother's daughter through documentation, through the birth certificate. Yeah. And then million other things, but that's the main thing that has to be done to become a proper Brit. And also you have to drink a lot of tea, but that's besides the point. That's done. Yeah. Right. Look, the Heilige Gemara. Omer Rabbi Baravuna. V'kulan b'kruchim achareya. The cat is out of the bag. Now everything is clear. which means, why is it that the Mishnah said twice, time and again, that if the woman is here, the wife, and she's proven kosher, then we know that the children are hers. But if she's in chutzlar, she's dead, she's out there, then we don't believe him that the children are hers. Why? Which means if the children are, kruchin means like attached to her. If these are small children which are, sticking to her all day long, like small children tend to do, Mommy, I need the bati, he's nursing, he needs the blankie, they're on top of her, they relate to her as a mother in a natural way, and children don't lie. That age, it seems very, very clear that they're attached to her apron as children to mother. That's why we believe him automatically that if this wife is kosher, they are now known, they are muhzak to be her children. I.e., that is to say that if it comes with a 15 years old, comes the family, they have a 3 years old, a 5 years old, Mommy, they're sticking to her and attached to her apron all the time and relate her clearly as a mother. Once we know she's Jewish, either because of her history or because of a letter from Israel or letter of Beis Din from there, once we know she's Jewish and they're like automatically are a picture of mother and children together, that's good enough. But that family also has a 15 years old and a 17 years old. And you know what they do? They come to the airport all day long. They have their earphones on. They hardly talk to the mother, like nice teenage children. They're not attached to her. We barely hear them calling her mother. Maybe yes, maybe no. We don't know. They're out and about. They go to school. They go to this. They go to do chesed. They go to the mall. We don't see that their mom is super attached to the mother. Maybe yes, maybe no. Then you have to bring a proof. If you want to bring a proof to children which are above the age of being attached, whatever the age is, whatever the situation is, then enachinami, for them the chazaka doesn't help, because you don't. Chazaka means, Chazanish says, I saw it today quoted, something that is believed by the people, something that's seen by the people. I don't necessarily see that this family, the child above that age, I don't see clearly that that's a son, right, and of the mother, right? Maybe calls her mother every once in a while because we trained him to call her mother because the father wants to lie. That could also be. Yeah, it could be. And mimela, then you'll have to bring a proof. For those children, you'll need a letter of Beis Din from wherever you came from Churchillville, South Dakota. You'll have to bring a letter from Beis Din that this child of 15 and 17 are her children, and therefore they're kosher, Jewish, not mamzerim, not chalolim, not anything. Very good. Okay? That's the name of the game. Kruchim achara. What's karuch? Do you celebrate the traditional Passover Seder? Have you ever celebrated the Seder? Oh, karuch, together. Karuch means bound together. To bind is likroch, right? They're bound together, meaning they are together, attached with her, like the koirech. Just explaining the word kruchim. Isha nososi b'mdina sayam. Yeah, a person now, that's a brisa. Says the man, a man comes to Beis Din and says, Isha nososi b'mdina sayam. Okay, here is a woman that I married in Chutz La'aretz. Maybe Raya Isha, Vein Tzorch Leviraya al Habonim. Yeah, he has to bring a proof regarding his wife. Very nice, that's your wife. Is she Jewish? Is she Mamzeres, Kutis, Meshucheres, Shifcha? Big selection. Who says she's kosher? Bring us a letter from Beis Din. Bring us a proof, yeah? The Ein Tzorch Leviraya Labonim. Oh, and he does not have to bring a proof regarding the children. And the Brisa continues right away to elaborate. Oh, this is an explanation, not a machlokas. Which children are we? Which children do we believe him are his children and her children? The little ones. But the big ones who are not attached to her, then we don't believe him. They don't seem to necessarily be her children. Maybe you trained them to call her mommy, because you know Beis Din are going to ask questions. Thank you very much. You're a liar. And therefore, we have to bring a proof regarding the big ones. But here comes another very interesting caveat. We're going to see Rashi soon. Yeah, that's a very important Rashi. And we're going to go a little bit be'iyun over here. Iyun, warning, iyun coming. When is that true, says the Brisa? Be'isha achas. If there's one woman, right? And let's say he says, I married one woman, okay? And that woman is either a woman that was in Chutz La'aretz, we don't know, right? We don't know anything about her. You have to bring a proof. And for the children, it's good enough. One mother, a bunch of children, it's one family. Aval b'shtei noshim, or if there's a case of two women, maybe isha bonim gdolim. I'm only reading the words, then we're going to see Rashi, and then we're going to get to another question. I'm translating first. Let's do it slowly. What happens if there are two women involved? Okay, then we don't believe you at all. You have to bring a proof regarding the wife, the children, the older children, and the younger children who are attached to the woman. Yeah, I'll tell you now in general. Let's say the person says, I had in Chutzarts two women. I married two women, which was legal before Cherem Rabbeinu Gershom. One of them sadly died, and the other one is here. The other one came here with me. Here she is in the airport, in shul, everywhere, with her children. Now we don't believe you. And we say maybe the big children and even the little one, even little ones, maybe they belong to the woman who you buried there, right? And really, they were adopted by the woman you're bringing now, and it's not her children. So though you managed to prove right the woman that came with you, let's say her name is Leah, we're concerned maybe they are the children of the dead Rochel who were adopted by her. Let's see Rashi. Be'isha Achas, the second to last Rashi, the penultimate Rashi. Be'isha Achas, she'omar Isha Achas Nasosi, he says, I married one woman. Aval omar shtei noshim hoyu. Let's say he says, I married two wives in Southeast Dakota. Umeisa Achas, the Elu Banea Shalzun. One of them died. Rachel died. These are Leah and Leah's children. Maybe Raya Aleh Shemiyucheses. You have to bring Raya and Leah, clearly. We don't know who is in Southeast Chuchuville there. Bring a Raya for Leah, that the Leah which came with you is really kosher. Val Banea Shem Banea. You also have to bring those little ones with her children. Why? Continues Rashi. Wow. Even if those children, the 3 and 5 years old, they're stuck to her, they cling to her, and they call her mommy, the Shema Baneh Shel Chaver Tahoya Begidalton. Maybe they are the children of Rachel that are now raised by Leah. Maybe she died when they're very young. They relate to her as the mother, as attaching to the closest mother figure that there is. And since that's a story, right? Mimela, we say you need to bring a Mariah that are not the children of the dead woman who's now buried in the Jewish cemetery of Chuchapuchkaville in wherever, in Wyoming. Okay? Question. I was going to ask a question myself, but I'm giving it the right away. Age before continue. Oh, my question. And Baruch Hashem was so happy. Asked the question, drove me crazy yesterday. I was thinking about it, and then I saw that an Achron called Beis Meir, he asks the question. The Choshev Achron called Beis Meir, the Shiva in Bnei Brak, Beis Meir also. He knows my best friend, Migo. We should believe the guy with Migo without any edim or any documentation. Why? He put his foot into it. He could have kept quiet, not say anything about the dead wife. All we know is Leah coming here. The children call her, Mommy, I need my blankie. Yeah, so then what? So we see a mother with children, Kruchim Acharea, and only because he said that there's a dead woman called Rachel buried somewhere out there that we got into trouble. Believe him. Migo, I could have said, right? Migo, I could have said that really this woman, I never had a second woman. I could have kept my mouth shut. Yeah, and then you wouldn't have asked any questions. You would have believed me regarding the little ones that this is their mother. So believe me now too that I do reveal the emes, the more emes dik I'm telling you about the dead Rochel. The Beis Meir says that's because of this question. The Rambam has an entirely different way to explain the sugya, which I'm not going into. The question is only on Rashi. The Rambam has a whole different understanding to explain what shtei noshim mean. But the Beis Meir says we must say in Rashi that it's not only him who said that, it's already muchzak. In other words, when the question arises regarding the wife and the children, the community already heard, a lot of people heard and seem to know and believe the fact there's already a coil already, or a chazaka even, that there is a dead woman out there. Everyone relates to it as a fact. That's how I would like to say chazaka is. People relate to it as a fact that there is a dead woman called Rachel. They already have a yahrzeit for her. They made memorial things for her, chesed organization for her. We all know about the dead Rachel out there in Chutzah, it's buried. Mainly now we don't say Migo anymore. It's a bit of an okimta. It's a question, and that's a possible answer, but the base male. Okay, I would continue for lack of any better explanation. Amar Shlakish. Look in the Rashash. I heard the Rashash also says something. I didn't look up in the Rashash here. Amar Shlakish says Shlakish. Here comes a whole new machloikes regarding what we just said now between Shlakish and Rabbi Yochanan. Loi shonu ela bekodshi agvul, aval beyuchsin loi. Let me explain what's going on over here. When you say we believe him that these are the children because of kruchim, meaning the mother is proven to be a kosher woman. Now let's portray a case that he's a C guy, he's a Kohen, he's a Kohen. Very nice, a Kohen. You came back from Chutzatz with a woman. Ha ha. We ask you 10 more questions. Who says she's Jewish? Who says she's kosher? Who says she's not halala? Grusha, chalutza. Wow, 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 wow. You need to bring a whole folder of papers maybe to prove that she's kosher. He proved, yes, she's kosher. Now, how do you know that the kinderlach, the zisa kinderlach, who are attached to her apron, how do you know that they are her children and therefore they're kosher kohanim? He's a kosher Kohen. We know him since he was 0. He went to Chutzarts, got married with a new woman. Here comes a new woman, a new wife. How do you know she's kosher? He has all the documentation. He brought with him in the plane to aid him. All is kosher. How do you know about the children? Chazaka. They're little tiny kids. There is no other woman in the background. There are a few kids, boys and girls. I'm saying on purpose, boys and girls, not some to be picturesque. Yeah, the boys and girls, mammy, mammy, mammy. They're all attaching to her as the mother. So we assume, highly assume, we hold as chazaka that also kohanim, and therefore what? Meaning, because they're kohanim means a lot of things. It means they can duchen, they can eat truma in times of Beis Hamikdash, they can serve in Beis Hamikdash, and also the girls may marry kohanim, kosher kohanim, but they're not halalois. Says Rish Lakish, it's not a package deal. Maybe the chazaka is strong enough up to a point, up to a certain halachic point, we believe the chazaka. But there's beyond a certain pale where we don't believe the chazaka anymore. Chazaka is not the be all and end all. Now I'm reading Rish Lakish again. Loi shonu el b'kodshi agvul, aval b'yuchsin loi, which means we only rely on that chazaka of kruchim when you want to feed the children kodshi agvul. Kodshi agvul means kodshim that are eaten outside Beis Hamikdash, namely truma. Trumas, maisres, or other matnos, kehuna, yeah, things like that. Only a Kohen supposed to eat the truma. We believe the father that the children are kohanim based on chazaka well enough that they'll be able to eat truma when they grow up, and even now they can eat truma. Aval b'yuchsin loy, meaning, let's say some of the children are girls, as I said. Do we believe then because the mother came from Chutz La'aretz, even though she's Jewish? I don't know if she's the daughter, the one who screamed at the age of 2, "Mommy, mommy, need my bati." So do we believe him that she's the daughter 100%? No. We believe him enough that the daughter can eat truma, women koyanas eat truma, but we don't believe him enough when she comes to marriageable age, when she'll be 20, she will not be able to marry a kohen unless you bring a proof that she's the daughter of that mother. In other words, we only believe up to a point of eating truma. But in order to really, for her to join the Kohanim clan and be able to marry a Kohen, that you'll have to bring an extra proof. I was scratching my head time and again, asking why. What's the difference? Yeah. And by the way, this is Rashi's explanation. This is a different explanation. Before the why, let's continue to Rabbi Yochanan, and then I promise I'll explain more. Now, Rabbi Yochanan Amar, Afil v'yochsin. Rabbi Yochanan says no. Rabbi Yochanan says Chazaka is magic. It works for everything, even for Yochsin. Even if the girl will become, hopefully, will become of marriageable age, will come to marriage, she'll be able to marry a Kohen, because the fact that by the age of 2, when she came from Chutz La'aretz, she behaved and talked and looked, and everyone believed and seemed to be seeing her as the daughter of the mother, as a Chazaka. Chazaka goes all the way, and now she can marry a Kohen Gadol. She can marry whoever she wants, because Chazaka goes all the way. When I say all the way, we're going to read very scary stuff soon, that we kill people, and I mean it, we execute people halachically based on Chazaka according to Rabbi Yochanan. So according to Rabbi Yochanan, Chazaka is unlimited, carte blanche, open, yeah, open account, yeah, to what? Open check. Chazaka is good for everything. Not all Chazakas, but a Chazaka as strong as this one, Everyone sees them as the children. It seems to be an axiom that these are the children, the fait accompli, they're the children of her. It's good for everything. While Rish Lakish is limiting it only for eating truma, not for yuchsin. I didn't know why. Before going to Toysfest, I saw Ritva, and I saw there's a new edition of the Ritva, which I don't have. I saw Netzor Chochma, the new edition of the Ritva. Listen to what the Ritva says. I don't understand it. The Ritva says for eating truma is only the Rabbanon. That's why we believe him. Mashenken to go and marry a Kohen, if she's the wrong kind of girl, a Chalala, to marry a Kohen, that's the Oraisa, and that's not allowed. I don't understand this. It's l'choyer not true. Unless truma b'zman hazeh, maybe truma b'zman hazeh, I don't know. But eating truma midoraisa, of course, is a doraisa. It's an isa doraisa. If a Yisrael eats truma, he gets chiyuv misa. It's an isa doraisa. So something here is what? I think so. Right. Yeah. Unless you say the chiyuv truma derabbanon, so the whole truma is derabbanon. I don't know, but it's not so simple. Maybe it's because of zman hazeh. Maybe that's what the ritva means. Tosfos explains something else. Tosfos says yuchsin doesn't mean because of other questions, but Tosfos does solve my problem, although he has other issues. Tosfos says no. You know what yuchsin mean? Soon you're going to see that soon you're going to see the following case. What about lo leinu? A mother and a son had relations, incest. It's called in English, giloy arayos. So and they were warned, and they did it. Yeah, we openly believe in. Yeah, they had bia, and the Edim saw them closing the door and going into bed. Lo leinu, the mother and the son, and then we give them skila. How do you know she's his mother and he's her son? You don't always know. Sometimes it's just a chazaka. Rabbi Yochanan believes, even though it's just a chazaka, it's an assumption that the mother and the son, because that's how the community knows them. That's how we relate to them. It's good enough to mamish to kill them, to execute them. That's what the Gemara means. That's what Rish Lakish said. I believe chazaka up to all kinds of isur d'oraisa, but yuchsin to kill someone, that much I wouldn't go with chazaka. But Rabbi Yochanan says no. Chazaka goes all the way, even for execution and kol sheken for chazaka. Now we're very good to continue. As Rabbi Yochanan follows his own reasoning from somewhere else. Malkin ala chazakos. We're going to explain everything. Malkin al chazakos, you give people malkois, 39 lashes, because of based on chazaka. We're basing the facts on chazaka, not on 100% knowledge or of edus. And also soiklin v'sofin al chazakos, we also give chiyuv misa of skila and sreifa over chazaka. Let me explain. When is skila? Mother and son who are together in the wrong way, they get skila. How do you know that the mother and the son? Soon you're going to see just bechazoko. Sreifa, father and daughter. What do you do with the father and the daughter are together? You give sreifa. Yeah, very hot lead they get to eat. Yeah, hot lunch. So then sofin ala chazokos. Okay, as we're going to see, be elaborated based on chazaka. How do you know she's my daughter? It's very, very highly assumed, believe it's taken as a fact by people outside. It's chazaka and it's good enough. However, the ain't sofin truma al chazakos. We're going to see that later. That's going to be the second half of the shiur regarding truma. You don't burn truma based on chazaka. Leave that for later. The truma continues the Gemara to elaborate. Malkin al chazakos. When would you have a case when people would be lashed? Oh, we're getting ready for Makis, the next Masechta. Malkin al chazakos. When would that be? Rav Yehuda, Dom Rav Yehuda, says Rav Yehuda. A woman was highly assumed, was regarded, was held to be nida by her neighbors. Today, you know, people keep it very secret. Nida, not nida, mikveh. It's true that the mikveh night itself you have to hide. It's true, but back then you see all the time when you learn hilchas nida and the gemaras and everything, people always knew when a woman was nida. Why? She had special clothes for nida. A woman who was nida would wear less fancy, not to be attractive to the husband. And the neighbors know. Women would know. They wouldn't be ashamed. So all the neighbors know that this woman is now nida. How do they know? That's what seems to be the business. Yes, she acts like a nida. She dresses like a nida. And then one day, all of a sudden, while she is wearing these clothes, Baila, her husband and her had relations. Baila loike alea mishum nida. The husband and her, they get malchus because of nida. Why? You don't know that she's nida. We don't have two Eidim who saw the bdika with a red stain on it. but we still know, meaning we know through chazaka, she's very highly assumed, regarded, looked at as nida. That's the known fact to us as regular people. That's strong enough to give malchus on that for that person. While, by the way, according to Rish Lakish, maybe they may not be the case. According to Rish Lakish, you could say maybe no. Maybe nechnami. You have to have edus, which is nida. Yeah, maybe the edim have to see that Shimamish went out of toilet with a red thing. That's hers, and and now they went to bed together. Maybe that's what they have to see, according to Rish Lakish. Rabbi Yochanan says no. Chazaka, the general strong assumption, is good enough. Soikli and Vesofin al Chazakos. Let's see the next nafkamina from that. When would one get skill and sleifa based on chazaka? Kedarabba Baravuna. Domer Rabba Baravuna. Ish ve'isha tinok v'tinoikes sheigdilu b'soich habayis. Yeah, nice little family. Men, woman, little boy, and little girl. They grew up together in the house, which means imagine yourself a family came from where they came from Worcester. I don't know where from. They came from somewhere to the community and they live as a family. They put a sign on the door, family Mishpachovsky. Yeah, and we all assume that they're a family. We never checked it. I never saw their ksuba. I never saw her going to hospital with that and coming back with that baby with a black mark over here. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. They came 10 years ago. They came from Chuchka Puchkaville, and they call each other daddy, mommy, lovey dovey, husband, wife, and they're behaving that way. And for a while, they were again muhzak, regarded, believed, highly assumed, taken as a fact that they're a family. And one day they did something very naughty. They all had relations with each other. Oy vavoy, crazy people. Niskolin zelzev and nisrofin zelzev. So now the mother and the boy had relations and they get skila, and the father and the daughter they get sreifa. How do you know? I know chazaka is strong enough, something strongly believed for a while. I don't know for how long. That's another question in halacha. I'm not going there. But for a while they were very highly assumed to be a family. I don't have to now be an oiber chacham and say, but maybe they're not really a family. According to Rish Lakish, yes. According to Rabbi Yochanan, no. Enochnami. According to Rish Lakish, I haven't seen material in the Rishonim, but the Rish Lakish, you only kill them before if you see a ksuba and you see, I don't know, you know that she gave birth. You remember there are Edim who saw her coming back with this baby. Whatever. I don't know how far you have to go according to Rish Lakish, but according to Rabbi Yochanan, the chazaka is strong enough. Very good. Amar B'Shimon ben Pazi. And now that's real story. Up until now, we're just examples, theoretical examples. You have to know. I don't always stress it enough, and sometimes I see people sometimes get confused. Yeah, this is not a maisa. This was just if that happens theoretically. Now we're going to see a real life story. Omar Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, Omar B'Shimon ben Pazi, Omar B'Shimon ben Levi. Story time. Mishum Bar Kaporo, quoting Bar Kaporo. Maisa be'isha shabas liYerushalayim. A woman came to Yerushalayim. V'tinuk murkav lo al kseifa. She had a baby on her shoulders, piggyback, yeah, with the baby. The baby was, she held the baby with her. We assume that she is the mother. She raised him. One sunny day, they had relations. Nice. Then what? Wow. We brought them to Beis Din and we did skila. Why? We don't know that the son is her son beyond reasonable doubt. How do you know he's her son? Back to square one in a good way. Closing the circle. What did we say? If a mother and a baby come here from Hudson Plots to our community, and from a very young age, right from the start, he related to her as a mother, we assume so strongly she's his mother that if the age of, 16, they decide to, get too friendly, we mamishat kedekach, we give them skila because of imoy, because of the mother, her being the mother, because the chazak is strong enough for that. That's what the chazak is. I just don't want you to get confused with another term, which I believe Rish Lakish should also believe in, I think, and that is, before we continue to truma, we're done with the first part, by the way. The second part now, from now till the end of the year, we're going to deal with the truma. Yeah, with truma that was assumed to be tome, not assumed to be tome. Just for general information, as Tzvi was asking me in the email, how do you know anyone is anyone's son? Seriously. How do you know you are your father's son? Loli, no, even in the frumest places, you hear of horror stories, yeah? In Bnei Brak, in Mesharim, So maybe your mother was not loyal, was unfaithful. So how do you know? There is an answer for that. Even I think it's even according to Rish Lakish. I don't think he argues over there, and that's a different kind of thing. Not chazaka roiv, roiv beilas achar abal. Even if even if a woman is lo aleinu, sometimes goes the other direction, chalila, and she manages to hide it. Terrible. But at least the vast majority of beilas are with her husband, and we follow the roiv. Allah follows the Roiv, and therefore we believe that the son is the son of his father. That's Roiv. Here it's Chazaka. Roiv, yeah, we're going to discuss Roiv and Chazaka later, the difference. Okay? That's time, nothing to do with their Amud. It's a little bit similar to the Sugya, so I'll just mention it as a side point. Let's continue. Yeah, good. The end sof in Truma. By the way, it says if the woman is known to be very poor, if she's known in society, or a woman who's known to be she go then enechnami. Then we don't know. Then we can assume her kids are mamzerim because we don't know already. But a regular woman who may sometimes once, twice went with another friend, then we assume that the father is the husband because of Roiv, the majority. Wait a second. There, I'm answering a question here. Of course, both Rish Lakish and even Rabbi Yochanan, we don't chas v'sholem kill people upon assumptions. If there's an assumption, all the Yachne Yente in town, they talk and say, she has been with her son. We don't kill because of that. Chas v'sholem. The act itself, as we learned thoroughly in Sanhedrin, the act itself has to be witnessed by Edim. Now, when you say Tashmish, you don't have to see Mamish or Tashmish, they have to see them lying together is the normal way of Tashmish, even if they don't see his organ, v'chule. But you have to see a Maisa. Yes, you have to see a Maisa, or maybe even, no, you have to see a Maisa. You have to see them in bed in a way, Kederech Menafim. Of course, the assumption is the background. Yeah, we have to see a Maisa's news for sure. The question is, well, how do you know she's the mother and he's the son? For that, says Rabbi Yochanan, for the background information, for that, says Rabbi Yochanan, Chazok is good enough. Thank you for the question, because it's just to clarify the point. Let's continue, okay? Today, Be'ezras Hashem, if we behave nicely, if we manage, we'll get to the next Mishnah, and from tomorrow onwards, till the end of the Masechta, it's about Yichud. Very Nogea L'Halacha. From tomorrow till the end, Be'ezras Hashem, it's halachas of Yichud, which is Nogea today, every day. The Ein Sof in Truma L'Chazokos. Let's continue now. What did we say regarding burning Truma al Chazoko, which means, I'm not even translating because it's going to come right now. Domo b'shimon melakish, sofin al Chazokos, Rabbi Yochanan Amar en sofin, which means, let's say you have a case of Truma, right? Now, we all know, let's say a Truma became Tome. Let's start the Reishis Bar, right from the start. People hear about Truma, they get scared. You have a Truma grapes. They were wet before, which means are susceptible to Truma. And you, with your own eyes, you're the owner of the grapes. With your own eyes, you saw a dead sheretz falling from the floor, from the attic. You have a whole bunch of dead mice there. One live mouse pushed the other. The dead mouse touched your truma. What do you do with that truma? First, we don't tell your wife. But what do you do with the truma? Burn it. Very good. Oh, that was quick. Sofin, a truma that's toma has to be burnt. Oh, here comes the question. What about sfekas? And for that, you have a lot of information. What happens regarding? Now, let's get to our business. Let's say something was assumed because of chazaka to be tome. I haven't seen a sheretz touching the grapes, the nice truma grapes. I saw someone who's highly assumed, who's muchzak to be tome, touching the grapes. What then? I'll repeat now. Rabbi Shimon Lakish says, Sofin al Chazokos. Rabbi Shimon Lakish is now not changing his skin. Rabbi Shimon Lakish says, when it comes to Chazoko regarding burning Truma, you burn Truma based on Chazoko. Rabbi Yochanan Ki'ilu changes his the other way. Omer Ein Sofin. When you have Truma, you don't burn the Truma based on Chazoko. The opposite of what they said about people, but there is a reason. Azdulatamayu, everything will be explained. Each one follows his own logic from a different sugya. That now, look at the following Mishnah. There's a Mishnah in Tyrus. Tinok, before we continue, what's Tinok again? Tell me. No, I'm sorry to correct you. Tinok in modern Hebrew means baby. That's true. Tinok in the times of the Gemara means a young child, a toddler. Yeah, it could be 3, 4, 5 years old. It's still a teenager for sure until he goes to cheder, until he's 6 or 7. I'm not sure, but definitely the younger years, yeah, when he's a toddler, you're right. It's also a baby, but babyhood goes up until 4 or 5. Now, little children, I don't know if you remember, maybe you remember from your grandchildren, they're not always super hygienic. You know that? I don't know what they touch, yeah, but they touch all kinds of things. I will not go into details. One of the things that they like to touch is the garbage. The garbage can is full of nice things. Back then, if you'd go to a nice Jewish family's, to any family's house in the times of the Mishnah, what you'd find in the garbage would also be a lot of dead shrotzim. Today, Baruch Hashem, we have higher level of hygiene, but the amount of dead, there are 8 shrotzim that cause tumah. Lizard, monitor lizard, a mole that's in the ground. The mole, yeah, the one that's in Chafar Paris, yeah. A weasel, yeah. What? A hedgehog, very good, very nice. You guys know your stuff, very good. Not a snake. A snake is tohar, and also a frog is tohar. And now I'm going to tell you now because it's going to be nogea. A toad is metame. Many people explain that the word tsav in the Torah does not mean a turtle. Tsav may, according to many opinions, means a toad, and that's confusing. It's for Mishnah entire which you learn. A toad is metame if it's dead, and a frog is not, and they're quite similar, both amphibians. Yes, and therefore there could be confusion. So if you go to the nice, hygienic, nice, cute house of any nice Jewish family in times of the Mishnah, what you would see in the garbage wouldn't be, I don't know, toilet, whatever that is. You would find shrotzim. You find many times dead shrotzim, the dead metam shrotzim, dead. Oh, so basically the garbage can would be a center of tuma. So the big children of the family, who are chaverim are like, the charedim back then. You don't touch the garbage can. You don't touch it. You don't move it. Who gets to move it? Maybe the goyim made. I don't know. The garbage can is the tuma center. You don't touch it, not only because of hygiene, because it brings tuma. But who doesn't listen to mommy? The baby of 2 or 3 years old, he likes to explore the world, and he touches the shrotzim. Wow, what a beautiful dead mouse. Fisher Price doesn't come up with such nice things. So the baby likes to touch those shrotzim, and therefore babies, we don't know that he touches shrotzim, but he's muchzak to be tomeh. Babies are muchzak to touch the shrotzim, the different garbage cans in the house, and then they like to touch all kinds of other things with their tomeh hand. A young boy, it doesn't matter that they're very young, they still can be transmitting tumah. Yeah, there can still be a force that transmits tumah. Now listen to this. Oh my gosh. This baby, where he ended up, the toddler? He's in the kitchen now. He's right next to the Isa, to the beautiful dough that mommy prepared for Shabbos. And he has some dough in his hand, which means that he touched the dough. That's nice, and he's so happy. Now, what does that mean, my friends? That very likely that his previous stop in the house station was the dead mouse. Now he's touching I would say stomach, right? Oh, Rabbi Meir mitaher. Wow. Rabbi Meir surprises us. Soon we're going to see now. Why? Rabbi Meir says no. That isa, that dough is tar, is pure, no problem. Interesting. The Chachamim mitamin. Why do Chachamim clearly say that this dough is tomeh? A baby likes to letapech is like to touch back and forth, to like dab, like that. Yeah. Poke about. That's nice. Yeah. A baby likes to poke about, he likes to touch stuff, yeah. Because the baby is a nice toucher, wants to explore the world, right? And Mimela, the baby not surely, but very likely touch the sheretz. Now it's touching the dough. What do? It's tomeh. That's a Mishnah, end of Mishnah. We ask the question, my time at Rabbi Meir. Why is Rabbi Meir so lenient? How can Rabbi Meir ignore the fact that the baby most likely touched the sheretz, now it's touching the dough? How can Rabbi Meir say that the dough is okay? Says the Gemara, Kasova, Rabbi Meir holds as follows. Roiv tinokes metapchin, umiut ein metapchin. There are 2 factors. Factor number 1, not all babies are metame. Don't generalize all the babies. Some toddlers, some babies, the miut, there's the minority that doesn't touch the garbage. They're naturally more hygienic. They don't touch the garbage. That's what some of them, the minority. 30, 40%, 20%, what are they? They don't touch the garbage. The shrotzim. That's one. Secondly, the isa becheskas taira omedes. Secondly, as we said yesterday about many things, what was the starting point of the dough? We're talking about a Haredi home where they keep everything. Of I'm not joking. Chaverim were like Charedim. Chaverim were like the people who were more machmir in halacha. It's a house of a chaver. The wife, the husband are super makpid that it should be tar. The dough started its existence in the world as toho. So now let's put two and two together. Says Rabbi Meir, "V'smoich miuta lechazoko." Join forces. Bam, bam, bam. Let's now join and add up the miut of the babies that don't touch the garbage, right? And when you look at the dough started his life up until the moment of Sofek as Tohor. Itra leruba. Together, the minority of the babies who are clean, plus the clean history of the dough, they outnumber the roiv of the babies. Okay? In other words, what? And therefore it's Tohor. Very good. And Rabbi Meir therefore says, why? Rabbi Meir believes that even though it's, I'll continue and then I'll say the Lomdis. The Rabbanon, what would Rabbanon say to Rabbi Meir's beautiful logic? Why do Rabbanon say it's Tome? Miuta keman delei sedami. The miut is kilu doesn't exist. Ruba bechazaka, ruba odif. Let me explain. Yeah? Ruba bechazaka, according to Rabbanon, the roiv completely killed the miut. The minority halachically is ignored, and Mimela, what do you have now? You have a vast majority of babies that are all, we consider this as if 100% of the babies are dirty and mitame. Now, the roiv of the baby against the chazaka of the dough, the roiv overrides the chazaka of the dough. Let me explain. This sounds like very big lomdis. It's a mefurish gemara in Nida. The question is as follows. It's actually a question also in Hilchas Basar B'cholov and in Taruvis. When the Torah, it's a question in Sanhedrin, it's a question which is very, it's discussed a lot in the world of yeshivas in the deep lomdis. Here's a Mefurish Gemara. Let me ask, it's a philosophical question. When the Torah said we follow majority, where does the Torah say that, by the way? It was invented by the Roman democracy, by the way. It was invented by Kadosh Baruch Hu himself. Where do we see majority rules? In the what British people call Beth Din, in the base one, even Sanhedrin, right? Sanhedrin Ktana, or even below, even the smaller bed, three, right? Sanhedrin, 23, excuse me. So now, when you have a majority of Dayanim, the person would live or die or owe money or not, according to the decision of the Dayanim who are the majority. Could be even a slim majority, a bigger majority, depends mominus or nefashis. Now, what about the minority? You can have 10, the 23 Dayanim, there are 7. Minority of 7, you have no idea. These Dayanim who are outnumbered, who are outvoted, amazing Talmidei Chachamim, Balamides, we ignore them, right? At the end of the day, if they decide that the guy will live or die, we ignore what they say. Question along this is, does their opinion still exist, but it's dormant, but it's there? Or do we say nothing? It's as if all 23 Dayanim decided the other way. Do we color the entire group with the color of the Roiv? Or do we say, no, there is a Roiv, there is a Miut, and we relate to both, but unless known otherwise, we follow the Roiv. Rabbi Sai, don't look at me. Here is an afkamina. Here is an afkamina right in our sugya. Rabbi Meir says, I know that 80%, I don't know, you ask a child psychologist, whatever, therapeutic, and what? He would tell you that 73.5% of babies, they like to touch the garbage, and 28% don't like to touch the garbage. So, says Rabbi Meir, wait a second. I'm not ignoring the minority of babies who are nice and clean and pure. So now, usually, if there's no other factor, I relate to the baby as Tameh. Why? I would take him to the mikveh if it's shaykh. Why? Because majority rules. But because, says Rabbi Meir, the minority is existing, but it's dormant, now there's somebody who's helping the miut. What is that? The chazaka. Now that the dough was muchzek to be tahor, now the dough that's tahor at the chazaka, right? That's 100% chazaka. We know it was tahor. Now he joins forces with the dormant miut, with the dormant minority, and together they run over the topol, the roiv. And the roiv doesn't rule in this case. And the same goes, there are questions that in Basa B'cholov also, B'chulei, and Chachamim say no. Chachamim say no. If the Torah says we follow the roiv, done. The roiv means 100%. We deliberately, halachically ignore the minority as if it doesn't exist. The baby is assumed to be 100% tome, and then we don't care about the fact that the dough was muhzak to be clean, because the dough was muhzak, but I know that a tome baby touched it. Finished, right? So now, clearly, according to Chachamim, in the case of the baby, which again, I keep mixing here Roiv and Chazaka, but Lamaisi here we have both. Meaning, when we say that most babies are metapeach, are they touch the garbage, have you seen all the babies in the world? No. In today's modern world, what would they say? How does that psychologist know that 73.5% of Western babies touch the garbage? They didn't check all the babies in the world. They take a sample. So therefore, we haven't seen all of it. We're machzik. We have a certain limited number. We work with that on a roiv, and then we extend it and say, now it's considered to be, universal psychology. That's called chazaka. People are assumed to behave that way based on a roiv. It's called ruba de leisa lekamon. The roiv is not in front of us. The shenken, in the case of, let's say, dayanim, or roiv that I see in front of my eyes, that's mamish roiv. I see here 5 kosher pieces and 2 trade pieces. I have a roiv in front of me. Let's continue. What does that have to do with Rish Lakish and Rabbi Yochanan? Now they're coming. Amar Rish Lakish from Shum Rabbi Yoshia. Very good. When Chachamim said that the baby whom they machzik, again, machzik, to be tomeh, he touched the dough. What do you do with the dough? You burn it. Here's Rish Lakish. Rish Lakish says, chazaka of truma is a strong chazaka of the tuma, and therefore you burn the truma. Now, Rabbi Yochanan Omar, and the chazaka shasof in the truma. Rabbi Yochanan says, no, this chazaka is not strong enough. You know why? I'm spoon feeding you now because of what I just told you. Rabbi Yochanan says, you know what you do with this truma? According to Chachamim, you toilet. What's toilet? You don't burn it and you don't eat it. You leave it to rot on the shelf. I'm serious. You leave it to rot in the corner, toilet, like you hang it. You make it pending. Why? Rabbi Yochanan says, I'm not 100% sure that this chazaka is a strong chazaka. Why not? You know why not? Because as I told you, you haven't seen all babies in the world. You're basing your chazaka on normal behavior of the 50 babies you've seen in your life. Because of that, the chazaka is not super strong, and it's enough to create a doubt, but not enough to burn. And as I told you many times, burning truma is osur. You can't burn truma misofik, because the truma tehoiro you're not allowed to burn. You're playing with fire here. Excuse the pun. Ela, eza chazaka Rabbi Yochanan shaltofin alesa truma. When would be a case of a chazaka that you do burn the truma? In other words, even Rabbi Yochanan believes in some cases that Rish Lakish is right. Some chazakas are real chazakos. Did you get the Hebrew pun? Some chazakot are chazakot, meaning chazakot means strong. Some chazakas are strong, are so strong that they're that strong you can even burn truma. What are they? The following case, kedetnan. Isa b'soicha bais. There's a dough in the house. Again, somebody is making nice challah for Shabbos. V'shrotzim v'tzfadin metaplin sham. Yak. You have shrotzim, which are metame, and you have frogs. Frogs are not metame. As I told you, frogs, they were terrible. They're very nice in Mitzrayim. They helped us. The tzfadin, they're not metame. Metaplin sham means they hang around there to the point that the pieces of their body fall into the food, like tofel, like they come in like extra condiment to the food. You look at the dough and so nice, like a French cuisine. Yeah, frog's legs, right? You have pieces of, I don't know if it's tome or tahor. I don't know if it's from a frog, it's tahor, or from a toad, and it's tome. I don't know. If this house is known to host mostly shrotzim that are tome, the dough is tome. If the majority of the guests in the house are tzfardim, then it's tohor. What's the chiddush? That then you burn the truma. If you know that in this house the shrotzim are the majority, the tumedik shrotzim, you're very nice. The lizard, the monitor lizard, the toad, if they're the main inhabitants in that house and not the tzfardim the minority, then it's tomet to the level of sreifa. What's the difference? What's the difference between the case of the tzfardim, the shrotzim, and the case of the baby? Clear, says Rashi. That's the difference. The roiv of the baby, the roiv / chazok of the baby, How do you know that this baby touches the garbage? You haven't seen him touching the garbage. You're just assuming things based on roiv deleise lekamon. You haven't seen all the babies in the world, yeah? You created a chazaka, meaning an assumed form of behavior based upon what people see in general. Yeah, you spoke to your friend from Philadelphia and your friend from London and say, hey, by us, it's the same thing. My baby touches the garbage. You haven't counted all of them. We highly assume because of a general universal roiv, the leisei lekaman, it's not in front of us. That chazaka created by this Rav is not as strong, and you don't burn the dough, says Rabbi Yochanan. But let's say this is a house, and I can see, I see here clearly a piece of some disgusting green leg in the dough. I wouldn't have eaten it anyways, yeah, in the dough. And then what? And I know. I called the exterminator 10 times. I see them. I count them. I see that 80% are lizards, and 80% are lizards and moles and v'chule, and only 20% are frogs. I see it in front of my eyes, right? That's not something universal. This is my house, and I know the situation of shrotzim. Because the tribe is much stronger, therefore we say that you even burn the truma because we are allergic to the roiv, the isei l'kaman, the roiv that's in front of us. Okay, I think it's actually a good time to finish. We've got Tani Kavosed Rabbi Yochanan is another brisa to support Rabbi Yochanan's opinion. And we'll do that tomorrow. Okay, we didn't get to the Mishnah, not the end of the world. And tomorrow, Bezos Hashem, tomorrow is what? Wednesday. And we should be starting the next Mishnah about yichud. Tell all your friends to come to Shiur to learn about yichud. And the siyum should be next Thursday. I'm saying this online, so people who see us should listen and know and hopefully care enough to come. I also have something next Thursday night. So it has to be Thursday lunch. I sent out. You also did? I sent and I said people should be in touch with you. Yes, I did. I'm stressing again that I also have something important. I'm going to be speaking in public next Thursday night somewhere, so I can't miss that. So, okay. So next Thursday lunch, everyone should help whichever way. Ellen is in charge. Thank you. Thank you to our 4 Anytime halachic participants and to YouTube. Atzlachu Baruch. Have an amazing day. Yes, Rabbi.